Like, remember how like like Instagram models just started popping up everywhere. Like all of a sudden, everybody's a model.
Yep.
And at one point, it looked kind of odd and it was weird. If you think about it, like the phone cameras weren't what they are today. But now, but like at some point, it changed, right? Like at some point, everybody started caring about how they appear online. So the Instagram models say maybe like 10 years ago, like nowadays with the help of filters or shit, them being in the gym for real or not being in the gym, you know what that means. Now it's like when you go on, you do look at some of them now, you like, oh shit, she could be a model or something like that. And now what somebody's in her DMs, they're flying her out to New York. They're flying her out to LA. They're flying her out overseas to go be in some show or something like that. So now it is about being online. It is about being on social media. What about creating your brand, wearing your stuff, showing your stuff off online? Because everybody's trying to sell something. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's trying to sell something. And it's like, I guess you got to be a little sophisticated. It's like, I'm selling this, but I'm showing you this to make you want to buy it. I thought it was funny. The whole I seen like the clip a while back ago about some Chinese lady, like she was like selling the clothes. She was like slide something and show it real quick or whatever, and it was like this chick made like 13 million in like 30 minutes, like selling stuff. And it's like when I watch the video, that video is comedy. That shit is fucking hilarious. She's like black shirt, throws the fucking shit. White pants, throws it. Like you don't even see the shit.
People buy it.
You don't see the shit.
And the crazy thing is that working retail, you find out a whole bunch of stuff. You got people who bulk buy. You got people who bulk buy. And, you know, bulk buying, you know, people do it. They come in, they'll, you know, buy $4,000 worth of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll take it to whoever and they're going to sell it, or they ship it to another country and then they'll sell it or whatever. But what you just mentioned, I just found out someone does. And they walk into the store, do exactly what you just described, walk out of the store, and when it sells, then go back into the store and buy it.
Wait. Say that again. You lost. So they didn't buy it the first time.
Nope.
They came in. They tried it on.
No, they didn't try nothing on. They showed it in the camera.
Yeah.
The same way you're talking about. You know, they're like showing it, and then they toss it, and then someone's like, "Oh, you know, I'll buy it," or they're gonna buy it or whatever, so that person can like ship it out to them or whatever.
Yeah.
They'll come into a retail store, show the item on their platform. Or multiple items on their platform, leave. When those items sell, go back in and actually buy the item.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy and that's dope. It's innovative. I kind of get it because I remember being overseas in other countries and like I'm shopping in stores and I'm looking at stuff. I'm like, yo, this shit is dope as hell. Why don't I see these clothes in America? Granted, look, you know my fashion choices, right? Like I'm not all suited and booted all the time. But some of that stuff I see over there, I'm like, man, if they sold that in America, in American sizes, because you know, Europe and Asia, like them shit's way different. I walked in the store and like I couldn't fit my fucking arm through a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like like that shit is like really crazy. But it's almost like, I don't know, over there is different influences. The stuff looks different. The materials are different. Why is that stuff not over here? Or at least in the places that I've been at over here. And mind you, I've been like halfway across this country. I've been New York, Texas, Florida, Atlanta, Cali, like, and it's like, you would think like, oh man, if I'm in New York, they probably got some shit out in LA that's different. Yep. True. The shit overseas is way different. Material, how it's made, all of that.
Yep. And, you know, like you said, sizes is different. And that's another thing that's interesting because working in bridal, all that stuff is mixed up. So, like, you could be a size would do a great example. You could be a size 8 in streetwear. So like
Mm,
you wear a size 8 jeans, you wear a size 8 dress, whatever. In bridal, you're like a size 10 or 12.
wow.
You're like 2 sizes up or down, just depending, particularly if it's a European designer.
Mm.
If you have a European designer, it's gonna make you feel all kind of ways if you're American.
When you design your stuff, are you using European design cuts, numbers, or like what are you
Oh,
doing with yours?
right now, I'm made basically custom. So I'm taking your bust, waist, hip measurement, and I'm going based off of that.
Well,
But
shit.
like, if I'm doing something from a show for a show, 9 times out of 10, because American models are built a little bit different. What I typically try to do is make stuff. I don't make twos at all. And it's not that I have anything against people that are that small, but
Mhm.
it's kind of like the opposite. I feel like for so long, it's been the twos and the fours, and we have not normalized eights, 10s, 12s, and 14s, and so on and so forth. So I think for me, that size 2 is like a size 8 for me. My middle ground is a size 8. So a lot of things that I make are somewhere between a size 6 and a size 10. I
Yeah.
can go bigger, I can go smaller, but kind of the general sizing that I do, particularly for fashion shows, is between a 6 and a 10.
I feel like that's what Instagram did though. It created that whole renaissance, especially with fashion, to tell the industry like, yo, stop putting these fucking skinny pencil bitches in front of us. Like, yo, we like really built out here. And
Yeah.
now, like, those fashion houses had been doing like European cuts and designs all that time. Now, all of a sudden, now you want to dress the big girls, which is cool.
It's
It's
cool.
cool. Like, yes, do that. Be inclusive. Add everybody. Um, but at the same time, like now, yo, start bringing the black minds in. Like the black minds know what the black people want, or the color,
Yeah.
I'm not saying color people, or like just minorities or whatever. Like because y'all been dealing with these hips, like forever. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
feel like it's still new to them. It's still new to like all these other fashion places.
Yeah. And
and
even
and mind you, oh, my bad, but
good.
also like I what I think is dope is now that you mention, I do see some fashion people like they just like fuck it. If I'll wear my own shit and I'll model it and I'll put it on Instagram and I'll model it on TikTok or open a TikTok shop now, and I still don't even really like get that, but it's like yeah, like go ahead and sell that. Like do you have, I know that you said that you have a line, like can you model your stuff? Do you have
Yeah.
access to people who could put it on, model it for you, put it online, and I don't know, like throw a price tag on it? I don't know like what that process would be, but
Yeah. I do have people that definitely could model it and wear it. I've had a couple people already do some things. The only thing is that with this newer line, because the show isn't until April, none of
mhm.
that stuff is released yet. So my social media is almost like at a standstill. I try not to let it be, but it's at a standstill because, there's something coming and I can't really post too much.
Okay, that's what's
But
up.
yeah, I do have people who, wear it. And anytime I do a show, models are kind of like given. Um, but when I want those like photos and stuff to post on social media, I do have people who could definitely wear it, including myself. I make stuff in my size all the time on purpose.
Who's at the top in like in hip hop? You can't tell me nothing about people being high. Nothing's higher than Jay-Z.
Okay.
Biggie's right there. I understand like Drake is in there, all that so on and so forth. Who's at the top in fashion bridal?
It depends on who you talk to.
I'm talking to you.
Whew. If we're talking my style, the things that I like, I am
Mm-hmm.
a glitz and glam girl. So I like flashy flash. So for me, it would be between Ellie Saab, who's does basically what I do, and the designer we were talking about earlier, Aluko. And if we're talking functionality, I would say Susan Neville. She's a British designer, but she's known for her built-in corsets. And what I think, I mean, there's other designers who probably do this, but this is the one that I am aware of and I've worked with. But she does built-in corsets on the inside of the gown so that you're not doing this on it. So
Mm-hmm.
you can wear strapless and feel comfortable, because although the back of the dress you may have like buttons, or she doesn't really do zippers, but if you had a zipper, you wouldn't see the corset that's on the inside because it's for function. It's for keeping the dress up, and you don't have to hold it up or pull it up and do all of that stuff throughout the day that you're wearing it. So I think if we're talking like full blown like function, I think that that's really dope that she does. And if we're talking like my kind of style, I would say Ellie Sabralico.
Cool.
Yeah. I did streetwear at one point, but my confidence is more in bridal and evening wear. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
just confidence, it's also like what I just am more passionate about. I'm more passionate about that. And, I've done the streetwear thing. I think I'm capable of it. I just think that, I, I think other people like my streetwear more than I like my own streetwear. And I feel like for me, I gotta love it.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm just like, I like dressing up and I like dressing people up. So I think for me, formal wear is where I'm at. But I'm capable of dibbling and dabbling. I've done a little bit of everything. I've done lingerie. I've done streetwear.
Lingerie is like hot right now. Like,
It really is. It really is. And this was maybe when I did to, do a little taste of it. It was maybe a little bit after Rihanna dropped Savage. Um, and I kind of used her, and I kind of used a couple of different lingerie brands to kind of like build that line and create my mood board and that kind of thing. So you'll see, like, if you look at it, it's on my website, but if you look at it, like, you can see the influence, um, particularly with celebrities. Like, you'll see Beyonce in a music video and she's wearing lingerie, and I probably pulled whatever that is from that snippet
yeah.
and created it into a mood board. So yeah, I'm one of those designers where I let things speak to me. And one of the things that I had trouble with was being able to draw a sketch and stick to the sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I'm more like, the fabric is speaking to me in a way, and I can see in my head what I want to do with it. And
Right.
that may change. It may change to something completely different, but I see in my head what it is where I want to start off at. And I'll do that. I'll start cutting, sewing, no pattern. I just start doing stuff, or with pattern, or I'll start draping it. And then I'll do the sketch. And it's like, no, this is what I did. Yeah. But for the most part, I try to do a sketch and stick to the sketch. That's what my professors told me to do. And one of my professors told me to at least make it my starting point. So I've tried it that way too. So I've tried it both ways. But if you ask me, I'll go into a fabric store and I'm like, oh, this fabric is dope. And then I just start doing stuff and I'm like, oh, I never sketched it out. So yeah, my process is kind of all over the place. But everybody's not the same. And my creativity kind of flows differently than other people.
But isn't that crazy though? Isn't that like, it seems like the people who are heralded or held up the most are the ones who are anti-traditional processes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm
So, all right. I mean, like, where you had mentioned like a show earlier, like,
Mhm.
so people are able to see what it is that you do, like that's coming up.
Yeah. Yep. And last year when I did the show, I live streamed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to see if I can live stream it again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there was like there was a technical error when live streaming it, because it you can't go past a certain point on live. So it had to be like a part one and a part two. So then when I tried to post it to my page, it became this whole thing because part two didn't want to post it. Something was wrong with it. So only part one got posted.
Well, look, you learn from that. Right now, you better prepared for this year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And when is that again?
This is in April.
In April.
Hmm.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I've been working and working and working
I
and
know, I know. That's why it been hard to sit down and get you to do this. Like,
I know, I know.
yeah,
But I've tried to make this one a little bit more diverse. I think the last one was it was major like all of it was bridal. This one is kind of a mix so that you get to see that it's where the evening wear begins and where it ends and then where the wedding part begins and when the wedding ends. That's where this line is. Um but my next hope is for next year, as a little taste, is to try to get a bridal line because I'm probably not going to be able to do all of these different things. I'm just one person, but it's to try to get a bridal line where I can implement the wedding gown and the flower girl gown to kind of merge.
wow.
So I'll give a little
Yeah.
backstory.
Okay.
So the idea of a flower girl is supposed to be the innocence of the bride from when she was younger. That's
Mm.
kind of like the significance between the flower girl coming out before the bride does. So the line that I want to do next is kind of catered to that. Because a lot of people, what they do is they, go out dress shopping, they get their dress, and then they're like shopping for flower girl dresses if they have a flower girl. And typically it's something bought from online or from David's Bridal, and it doesn't like it's either white or blush or but it doesn't really like reflect the bridal gown. And I think that what I want to do next is have one that is kind of like a sneak peek into what the bride's gown is going to look like before you see the bride.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be like the exact same dress but just smaller. I think it's going to be like if it's, you know, if the bride has on like a strapless dress but it's flowering details that, maybe her dress, it's going to have straps, but, her dress has maybe those flower details, but only on the train. So it's one of those things where I'm trying to like figure out what will work and what won't work and, try to create that to be, because that's something that people are not doing right now. And, we'll see where that goes.
That sounds really dope. Like, but what I want you to also do though is use this talk, this interview, like, look, you said it yourself. You got to post more. So
Yeah.
people want to see that process. People want to know, what is she doing? What is she putting up? Like, it's sometimes, I guess, like now it's not enough to just see the finished product. It's like, let me get to know this designer by seeing their process. Like, is she sweating on this, or is she like having a good time? Is she blasting Beyonce in the background while she like working on the lace and all that? You know what I mean?
So here's a thought. I could go live, right?
Mm-hmm.
As I am creating my stuff. I could. But let me tell you what most of us designers do. It starts off as like, us in the groove, but it may end up me just watching Netflix. It happens. So the live would still be going, but y'all will sit there and watch me you know,
Be watching you watch Netflix.
watching the next season of Bridgerton or something.
Oh my gosh. Is there a when you're online, you talked about your inspirations earlier, people in fashion, people doing what you're doing that sort of inspire you right now. Is there anybody that's online who is doing what you're saying? Like they are going live or they are recording themselves as they are in their process doing their creative, working on whatever that shit is called. What's that? The mannequin or whatever. Like, are there sort of like inspirations or people that you follow that you're like, when I go live, I want it to look like that. When I post a video, I want it to look like that.
Um, I haven't really seen, right, people go live, but I've seen people post the videos of them, actually doing it and it become like, it's a reel or it's in their stories or it's a post or, it's on TikTok of them doing like a time lapse of, them starting the dress from cutting it out to it being finished and them swirling it around on a mannequin.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen those, but I haven't really seen anyone go live and do it. So, that's not to say that there aren't people who are doing it. But that's just to say that I haven't seen it. So I think with me doing it, I think it might strike some people's interest, whether it's, you're just curious to see what I'm doing, or you're getting married and you want to see what I'm doing at the moment, or you have an interest in sewing yourself and you want to see, how my process is. So I think it's an interesting idea to do. Um, will it be within the next couple of weeks? Probably not. But because I'm trying to be careful about what it is that I post. But when I'm doing something that isn't, you know, fashion show related or that isn't someone's gown that they're gonna be posting pictures themselves of, I will probably do it. And I think that's the other tricky thing. Like, I can't just be posting people's bridal gowns before they get married, or I can't just be posting like people's dresses before, they want their professional photos. And sometimes I want to take their professional photos and actually use those to post on social media. So what I did when making the other dress was I post close-ups to
Mm-hmm.
kind of get away with it. Like, I post ruffles, like you'll see the ruffles, or I'll do like a trending sound and it's not the whole dress, but it's like a portion of it that you can't really tell what it is, or it's me sewing the seam. So it it's one of those things where it's hard because fashion is one of those things where it's like you have to wait till the event.
Yeah.
But, it's a learning process. It's a learning process. So hopefully I can find my groove in PR.
Well, I'm super excited for your groove. I'm super excited, like, for your process, and I can't wait to see the stuff in the show in April.
Me too. I can't wait to see it in April too. But unlike most time, like this hasn't been the most stressful, which I kind of love. I think I've been taking it like I've been taking it very easy. I kind of just cut on my show and I say, I got nothing really to do today, so I'm gonna just take this time to be in the studio and just kind of work, 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 and push out. I got the majority of the stuff that I did, start to finish, I got it done in a day. The only
Damn.
thing that's not done with them is him, and I still need to add like some zippers, but that's it.
You make it sound so like with ease. You know what I mean? Like you just like, yeah,
That's
did it. I
practice.
did it in a day.
That's
Knock
practice.
that out.
Because let me tell you,
It's like
when I
it's
was in
like
school, it
that's
was more than just a day.
that's crazy. It's just like you sound like Wayne, right? Like Wayne, like somebody sends Wayne a track and they like, yo, I need you to spin on this, and He just like, he listened to it, I bet. Go in the booth and he just spit it. You make it sound so like, oh, I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah.
Like you know who you are. You know what your process is. You know what it is that you got to do. And like that, like when people are operating on that level, like that confidence, that knowing what needs to get done, like you're unstoppable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 So I'm excited. Um, I don't want to say too much about like what it looks like, but um, it's different for me.
Hmm.
It's something I haven't done. If you look at like my previous stuff, you could see some of it. Like you can be like, okay, yeah. But I think for me as a designer, in terms of my like work, you look at an artist and you're like, I can look at that and I can tell exactly who that is.
Right.
I think for me, I'm still figuring that part out. I think, as I grow as a designer, because like I said, I wanna be able to do things and you look at it and you're like, how is that even possible? And I think that now I'm working toward it. I don't think I'm there, but I think that, with practice, it, will become a thing that I'm able to do. But this is it's something new. I've done similar stuff to it, but what this is new for me as a designer. And I think it's in a good way.
Sounds like you're having fun too.
I am. I am. I mean, it's giving me some knee and back and shoulder pains being hunched over, but other than that,
Ah,
but
make an appointment.
right. But as a brand, my goal is to, open my own studio space so that way, I don't have to worry about being on the floor and cutting it out on the floor in my office, and I could actually have tables and a whole office and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to work towards something, but it does take time. And I've been trying to give myself some grace, but
It's dope. I'm so excited.
me too.